Good evening, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Um, just wanted to give you an update on my street machine group build that I'm doing. It's a 69 Camaro. And if you're not familiar with this kit, this is the latest release of this one. And I actually went out and got a 2005 version. And I'll show you why. When it comes to these kits, I love the older kits because the plastic's so different. And it's hard for me to explain, but it seems like the older kits, it seems like the plastic molds better. And I feel like I can get a better product with the older kits, just from the sanding and all that type of stuff. But the reason I went out and got this is that if you look on, this is the new release right here. And I don't know if my camera will focus because I've been having trouble. Let's see if I can. There we go. I don't know if you, yeah, might, but right here, it seems like the mold is degrading. And Frank over at Frank's Model Works, he kind of talked about this, but you can see that little bump there, and it's on the front and the rear. You can see it here too. What's happening is that the mold has basically changed and degraded over time, and it's basically starting to eat into the wheel well chrome, that chrome line that's on the wheel well. So I went out and got the 2005 release. I want to thank Taylor from Too Tall Model Garage, and he went out to the Kansas City show and was able to pick this one up for me. And Taylor, if you ever get a chance, Taylor is a really good negotiator, so he got this one at half price. So anyway, so what I've done with this is what I typically do with these bodies is I like to start with 400 grit, and I like to go across these panel lines because they're uneven because of how the body is molded. They're uneven, so you got to go over these with a 400 grit so you can even these out so it doesn't mess with your paint job. And so I started with 400, and then I went to 600, and then I started working on the panel lines. Now I prefer deep panel lines, and I use this tool from Tamiya. This is the Fine Engraver, and this is the 0.25, I think it is, and I will scribe these lines until they're deep. I like them deep. So I don't want to break through, but I like them deep. So also I noticed there's sink marks, so I've been working on the body quite a bit to get the sink marks out, and I use some putty here, to get the sink marks out. And I went to I've been using Tamiya putty and struggled with it, so I went and got some of this stuff. Seems to be a model car builder favorite, and I see why, because this stuff is so sandable. It feathers so well. It still shrinks and all that stuff, but it's a really good tool to have, and I think they're going to stop making it, so you might want to get some. I highly recommend it. We got the body kind of in 600 grit, and I will go to 1,000, and then I will go to a 2,000, and then get it nice and smooth, and then I'll hit it with my primer. This model here, I've learned through watching other people build this model that you don't want to put the rear valance on before you put the body on over the frame. So here's the rear valance. I've already put that on the rear and fit it and sanded it so it's perfect. One of the things I notice is on this particular frame is that
the rear end doesn't fit. So I wanted to lower the stance. It fits, but it puts the wheel not in a good spot. So that right there, I don't know if you can see, but it's supposed to go all the way up into these shackles right here. And I have found that moving it back a little bit will keep it more in the center of the wheel. These shackles came with a rear riser. I cut that off to get my ride height, and then I shortened it just a little bit. And I got lucky on this one because the wheels that I've chosen, which are these right here, these are from Off the Sprue. I painted them. They're a two-piece wheel, so they have this ring, and then they have the center. Oh, and I guess they're three-piece because then they have the knockoffs that go on. So I painted the knockoffs a chrome. I painted the wheel centers a champagne gold, and then I just did the Alclad chrome. And I've experimented with the finishes on the Alclad chrome. This one here, I just did a gloss black and let it sit for 3 to 4 days, and then I sprayed the Alclad chrome over it. With the 3D parts, they're a little bit more porous and rough. I personally think that it would be better. I've experimented both ways. I think it would be better if you used a like just a simple black, and I got this idea from Marcos Cruz, so I can't take credit for it, but if you use a simple black, like a semi-gloss black from Tamiya, so it's nice and thin, you don't have any buildup, and then on top of it you put your 2K clear, and then let that sit for a week to cure, and then come back and hit it with your Alclad. You get a better finish, I think. You can't touch it because you know what happens is you kind of tarnish the nice chrome finish you put on there. But I found that to be the best way. That was a really good idea Marcos had, and I really like how it turned out. So so I got the rear end done. On the fronts, it comes with these little discs underneath on the front. I cut those off, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to be able to, I got latitude, so when I get the frame in and I get everything built, I can move the front wheels up and down with that, so get my ride height right. I can't do it with one hand, but the ride height is going to be, let's see if I can do this. I doubt it. No, there's no way. About like that. So I got that ring touching up the fender lip, basically. That's how it's gonna sit. Also got some disc brakes that I bought with these rims that are on the inside. I painted them up that red because the car is going to be a red, which brings me to color. So here's the color. I've already done the firewall, just messing around, trying to get a feel for what it's going to look like. Here's the firewall. Bare metal foiled these plates down here, but the firewall is painted up in the color that I'm choosing, which is this lucid red. So it's basically a 3-stage primer, clear coat, a metallic base coat, and then you put the candy coat over top. So it's lucid red, and it's a pearl, and you can see it says metallic base, and they recommend that you use a dark base, so some sort of dark primer. So I'm going to use a dark gray for that. And I think that's it.
I can't think of anything else. So I do want to. I had a chance to meet a guy that watches the channel. I was doing some tests, getting some tests done at the hospital, and he was in the waiting room. He asked me if I was who I said. Basically, are you Terry Wilson? Yeah, I'm. Kind of shocked me, but I didn't have a chance. So if he's watching, I didn't have a chance to get your name. So if you could put your name in the comments, I'd appreciate it. I got called back as soon as he sat down, pretty much. So anyway, I hope you guys have a good day. Be healthy, be well, be wise, and take care of yourself. This is Terry. I'm out.